Jamaica definitely isn't short on strong, powerful, influential women, and we're highlighting as many as we can here on Candid with on TVJ. I'm your host, Janella Precious. Tonight, we sit down with a woman whose work happens at the very heart of Jamaica's democracy, but whose story is rarely told. She holds one of the most respected and demanding roles in the public service, guiding the procedures and traditions that shape how our country is governed. But beyond the title is a journey built on discipline, resilience, quiet strength, and an unwavering commitment to service. This evening, we step away from the formality and into the personal as she shares the experiences that shaped her, the challenges that tested her, and the purpose that continues to drive her. She is none other than the Clerk of the Houses of Parliament. This is Candid with Colleen Lowe. Welcome, Colleen.
Thank you, Janella.
And thank you so much for joining us. Okay, so which parish? Kingston, St. James, where are you from?
You want the original response?
No, I don't want the original response.
Okay, so I hail from the parish of Clarendon, and to be more specific, in the town of Maypen.
Oh, so you're a town country girl.
Something like that.
Talk to us about growing up in Clarendon.
Okay, so apparently when I was much younger, I grew up on a street called Duke Street.
Street.
Yeah. It was not an affluent area. It's something like down a town at the time. And then at around age 4, my grandmother moved to Anderson Drive, and that's where I would have spent most of my life before I went to university and transitioned into life here in Kingston.
This is very interesting. You're born on Duke Street and you now work on Duke Street, but we'll soon get to that. But it's interesting that you speak of your grandmother. Mm-hmm. What was it like, just being in her presence every day?
So my grandmother was a remarkable woman, and she was also what you would call a day's worker. So she would work and she would do domestic duties, and she was a disciplinarian. So even though she would have left school early, education was very important to her. So on Saturdays, I was not allowed to play. I was allowed to sit on a little board bench with my book, either reading for her or completing like my mathematics homework, and I absolutely hate maths. But this lady was also very good at maths.
Oh, really?
So if I should get an answer incorrect, whop, whop.
So you felt her wrath. But there was value in that, though, Colleen. There was value in it. Talk to me about what you have learned from, just how you were raised in general.
So hard work pays off. And my grandmother was a faithful believer. I'm still a member of the Church of the Open Bible in Maypen, and her faith was very important to her. My father also played an integral role in my growing up. I would say that I'm from a blended family because I have what's called a bonus mother and 2 sisters. So on the weekends, I would go over to spend time with my dad, my bonus mom, and my 2 sisters by my dad's side. And my grandmother, she was really the anchor in my everyday affairs. And going to church was a must.
So when you go to church now, you have on your little hat. Tell me how grandma dressed you when you go to church. You have on your little hat.
I'm an 80s baby, and I'm saying, old people style I keep.
Yes.
Your little hat to tie under your neck, and your ribbon, and your bubbles, and your stocking. And sometimes they wear your stocking with your socks to have the little fluff around the head.
Man.
Yeah, man, and your little buckle up shoes. Yeah.
looking nice. I can see it now.
Yes, you had a holy look.
And how often would you go to church? Is it every Sunday? Like how many times did grandma insist that you had to go to church?
Every time church keep. So you have Sunday morning service, you have Sunday school, you have Sunday night service, you have Tuesday night prayer meetings, you had Thursday night young people's meeting, and basically if a convention is keeping, you just had to go.
But there was also value in living such a spiritual life. Talk to me about that.
It is, because being exposed to faith at such a young age, it has really helped me to learn how to be quiet when the noise is going on around me. It has taught me how to remain anchored. And sometimes, like Daniel, you have to stand alone. But there is a God, and he always delivers.
Now, since you go church holy, right? Is there one song that you would normally go to, or is there a particular Bible verse that you would normally go to when the going gets rough?
So I grew up in a church that religiously would use what we would call the Redemption Songbook. So I'm almost sure that I would know a song on at least every page. And there are several very good songs. But the ones that I tend to hold dear, one is Blessed Assurance.
Let me hear that. Can you?
Yeah, man. I can't even crow, Janella. Don't ask me that.
Blessed assurance, Jesus is mine. Yes.
And when peace like a river, and sometimes when my faith is feeling challenged, there's a song that asks, will your anchor hold in the storms of life?
And your anchor, it has been holding.
It has been holding.
And then you've made the transition to public life. What was it like? Is this something that you've always dreamed of?
No, I wouldn't say it's a dream. I just believe that opportunities would have presented itself, and I just end up with this calling. So again, I'm like a Bible girl, which perhaps many people would not even know that about me. But I think my life story is synonymous to that of David. So David was a little shepherd boy out there tending to the sheep when the prophet went to the father's house to say, I'm here to anoint one of your sons to be kings. And nobody looked at David. David was seen to be inferior, not as strong as his other brothers, or good looking. And so it is, this little country girl was out there, but then the call came. You need to apply for this job. And that's what I did. Here I am today. But even before I got to Parliament, my first job in the public sector was at the National Land Agency. And I want to also give a lot of credit to my then supervisors. I think the team was being led by 3 strong, successful, and also challenging women. The CEO at the time was a female. The director of corporate legal services, also a female, and the manager was a female. And it was in that environment I learned the principle of accountability, responsibility, and integrity. And those traits continue to shape who I am today as a leader at the Parliament. And even though the environment is very different, but I believe that these are traits that I should not hide under a bushel, but to let it be my guiding light.
How do you carry the weight of such an important role, and at the same time, being true to yourself?
It is a balancing act, I must say. The role comes with challenges and opportunities. And Shakespeare said, uneasy is the head that wears the crown. So the challenges in this position is no different from what other leaders may experience. You are dealing with managing people. My grandmother would say, 7 brothers, 7 different minds. Everybody will have their own opinion as to how things ought to be done. And you just have to learn how to balance all the variances and to achieve the overriding objectives at the end of the day. And again, I take time out for me. My peace of mind is something that I value greatly. I believe in quietness. I like to step back. So when I'm not at work, most time I'm at home. But yes, I love to go to the beach and the river for fun. But I like to stay home and do a lot of introspection. I'm also an introvert. So I like to do self-assessment, see how I can grow, how I can do better, and also not to allow my job to be my identity. It may form a part of it, but that's not who I am at the core.
All right, so some great advice here, and we're just getting started. When we get back, we focus more on the side not many get to see with Candid with Colleen Lowe. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.